Hello, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Ongakudy, the podcast where three friends come together and break down what's new in the Japanese music industry. This is the podcast for the week of July 31st, 2020. I'm your host, Ken, and with me we have Luna.
Hello, everyone.
And Gray.
What's happening, dudes?
Woohoo, we are all three back. It's been a while.
Yes. No, we were all three back last week. It's been a long week, though.
It's been a long week.
That's an understatement.
But yeah, with that, let's continue on to what we have been listening to this week. Let's start with you, Gray.
I've been listening to Kenshigo Nezu, and Kenshigo Nezu. You might notice a pattern there. So
LOL, right?
Exactly. Yes, but no, seriously, I've been listening to a ton of Kenshigo Nezu. I just discovered that Ivy have been dropping, each of the members of the group have been doing a solo song, and 4 out of 5 members have already dropped theirs. I don't know when the 5th one's coming, but all 4 of them are fantastic. I even sent one of them to Ken, and he liked it, so it also made my new thing that we're doing, the Ongaku Go. So yeah, Ayumi from Yuta, or by Yuta from Ivy, is a fantastic song. Definitely recommend that. Go check out that full list. Everyone's list is very interesting, and I liked seeing what everybody else has been listening to. So that's a fun project that we're starting, and that's really fun. And other than that, nothing too much. I think I listened to High Five for like a hot minute, and yeah, LOL's Work It Out. I think I was listening to a little earlier today. Nothing too special. What have you been listening to, Luna?
Being honest, not really much this week. I just too much going on. What I have been listening to, Yonezu Kenshi, pretty much like Ray said, we're doing something new called Ongaku Go, and the 5 tracks I did put on there are pretty much what I've been addicted to all throughout July. So Cream, Kira, Banana Lemon, Kodokumi, and Millet. I still go back to Millet because I love her music, but listen to some Horia Yui when I did have my car this week, and Stephanie, who I don't know if anyone remembers her anymore. She hasn't been around for a little while. And that's pretty much it. I haven't been listening too much, unfortunately. What about you, Ken?
So I've been listening to a lot of indie, who I've talked about prior. His new EP, Outdoors, just came out, so I've been kind of going full blast with that. I've been also listening to a lot of Kenshi Yonezu. There is a reason why, but you'll find that out in about a week or two. I've been also listening to Exile Atsushi with his Love Ballads album. It's really good. It's been a while since I kind of sat down with it. And like the other two previously said, if you guys haven't noticed on our site, we have this thing called Ongaku Go, which is pretty much our top 5 songs that we kind of been listening throughout the month. So I figured we're halfway through the year of this terrible year, and I figured we start something to tell you guys what we've been listening to on a more monthly basis compared to just listening to us to the show, because we might mention one thing and then forget about talking about it in the next week's episode. But this is more of a overview for the month, so it's really good. Hopefully you guys really like that, and go check that out. Yes, I've been also checking out the Cowboy Bebop official soundtrack, because like we mentioned a couple weeks prior, Sunrise released all of their anime soundtrack stuff on the streaming services, so a lot of Tank. I've been jogging around with that in my ears. So and also a lot of Syrup and D4DJ, but it's more of the same of what I've been listening to last week.
I'm a little upset that Sunrise didn't drop the soundtrack for Outlaw Star, because I was really looking forward to digging into Through the Night, and that did not happen.
It's also kind of weird because Outlaw Star is more of our kind of thing. It's not really big in Japan. It was more of us.
That's very true too. It was a lot bigger in the West than it was in Japan. That's very true.
So, that's a whole other thing of why they probably weren't able to put a lot of things, because they're thinking about the international market, and they're thinking more so from their point of view what was much more of a hit.
That's fair.
But, well, regardless, let's continue on to the news here. And great, you have the first piece of release news, so go right ahead.
Yes, so this week we are leading off the news with an article about the girl idol group Empire, as they've announced they're going to be dropping a brand new EP titled Super Cool EP. It's right there in the name. And is going to be released within the next week because it's set to come out on August 5th. The new EP is going to have a total of 7 brand new songs. And a lot of the girls from the group actually wrote the songs that are on the EP, so a lot of this was written by the girls themselves, which is pretty cool. It's not too often we see idol groups do that kind of thing, so that's pretty cool. It's being dropped in 3 editions total, and the Blu-ray edition comes with a cassette tape as well. So if you have a cassette player, you're locked and loaded and ready to go. But yeah, we have the full listing on the site. You can definitely check that out along with the full track listing. And there's also a teaser for the Super Cool EP on the site. So if you're very interested, give that a look-see.
All right, so next up is I Don't Like Mondays is enjoying the Sunflowers with the new collaboration. Those of you who don't know, they are a Japanese fusion rock band and one of our Music Corner alumni, which you can read about on our site. They announced a special collaboration with New York-based rock band Great Good Fine OK. The Great Good Fine OK has been fans of I Don't Like Mondays for quite some time. So this is pretty much a dream collaboration from them. And actually, it's past the date. So the song Sunflower is out as of July 22nd, and you can check that out on all digital platforms. I Don't Like Mondays also announced they did their first paid streaming live on July 15th. So hopefully we will actually see more paid lives by them in the future, because I love them and they would be amazing to see live.
And then continuing on up, the lovely popular voice actress turned vocalist Yukari Tamura released a music video for her track Catch Me Cat's Me on her YouTube channel, attached to her then upcoming album Candy Tough, which was released last month on June 24th. It has a lovely, bubbly composition to match her very girly personality. You can check out all the information about that on our site, and she's dressed up like a cat in this one. It's very interesting to watch.
I love her. I love Tamura Yukari. She's so cute, and I love her voice too.
All right, moving on up to our next article, we're going to be talking about Moka Sato, as she has revealed that she is going to be working with Tendre on her upcoming album titled Glints. The new album title is a slight nod to Glitter, if you could not tell, and is going to feature a seasonal theme. Tendre was in charge of arranging the lead song of the album, also titled Glints, and is going to serve as a summer song. If you're interested in this article, at the time of the writing of the article, the pre-orders were not up, so unfortunately we do not have pre-order links in the article itself. But if you want the full track listing and you want to check out, get an idea for what she sounds like, we have her music video for Melt Butter, so you can definitely give that a look-see if you're interested.
All right, next up is Glay brings democracy to fans' homes. So those of you who don't know, Glay is an industry staple and popular Japanese rock band, and they announced their latest tour, Glay Arena Tour 2019 to 2020 Democracy 25th Hotel Glay The Sweet Room. That's a mouthful. So this will be hitting shelves on August 12th, and it is available on Blu-ray and DVD. So this release will include their final performance of their arena tour that took place at Yokohama Arena in January. The guitarist Hisashi took control of the production of this tour with a concept theme of Hotel Glay, Satsujin Jiken, which is pretty much murder case, so theme of murder. If you like serial killers and criminal minds, this is totally up your alley, and I know it's up my alley. So this release will actually include a lot of bonus features, such as a director's cut version. There will be documentary on it, and there will be 8 different types of end rolls for each performance and audio commentary by the members. So the fans can pretty much choose, like I said, between DVD and Blu-ray. The releases include the same bonus features. However, they will be spread out in multiple discs if you do choose DVD, as Blu-ray holds more. If you're a member of Glay's fan club, however, there is a special G-Direct limited edition, which includes extra bonus features and live performances. You can pre-order your copies below on our website and check out the Hotel Glay Grand Finale tour that is on YouTube, along with the cover art for the tour as well.
And then continuing on up to Music Corner alum Sorane released the music video for hit track Girl on his YouTube channel. The video was released to celebrate the release of his then album 19 Fact that released a couple weeks back and was produced by Shin Morino and brought to life by his unique collaborator Koji Koji. You can check out more information about this along with the music video for Girl on our site.
All right, so next up is Aimer and Yuki Kajiura do a collaboration single together. So those of you who don't know, Aimer is a famous Japanese vocalist who does a lot of anime, and Yuki Kajiura is also who does a lot of anime, is a famous composer and was also part of the girl group Calafina, which she produced and took a part in. So they were bringing a special single to commemorate the release of Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel 3 Spring Song on August 15th. The single will be titled Hana no Uta / I Beg You / Haruwa Yuku, and it will be released the same day as the third and final installment of the new Fate movie. So Yuki Kajiura has composed and produced many of the famous anime, along with all the Fate Stay Night, Gundam Seed, Noir, Kara no Kyokai, Sword Art Online, those are just to name a few. Aimer has also participated in a lot of those, so this makes it an amazing collaboration. Having these two together, you know you're getting something really good. So this release will contain all 3 tracks that were produced and composed by Yuki Kajiura and vocalized by Aimer, along with an new arrangement of Haruwa Yuku and a new version of Hana no Uta. There will be several editions which you can check out on our site, along with track listing and a special music video.
And then continuing on to the Aimer train just a little bit more, she announced that she will be releasing a brand new single, Spark Again, on September 9th. This will be the latest release done by the artist since Haruwa Haruyuku / Marie back in March, and will be her 19th single overall. And this is to kick off her 9th anniversary in the music industry. Spark Again is set to become the opening theme song for the 2nd season for the popular shonen anime Fire Force, which I know you are probably being a huge fan of, right, Gray?
Yeah, I love Fire Force. And season 2's already premiered. I think they're 4 episodes in. I'm behind on a lot of things, so I haven't had a chance to stay caught up.
Oh, I was going to say, have you been able to listen to the track?
I've heard the track. Well, when they were doing like all the previews for the season, you could hear the track in a lot of the previews. So it's pretty good, pretty solid. I'm not the biggest Aimer fan. I'm hit and miss with her sometimes.
I know.
but it's well, it's mostly for any new listeners. But I thought this is a pretty solid track. I think this is pretty good. It's definitely a hit for me. So I'll recommend it. And yeah, hopefully soon I can give you guys my thoughts on Fire Force, because season 1 was phenomenal. I loved season 1. So hopefully I can get caught up soon on season 2. But yeah.
Yeah, so it will release with 3 editions, and you can check out all that on our site, along with the music video for Spark Again on our site as well. And then continuing on up to the lovely 5-member Korean girl group EXID. I always have difficulty of how am I supposed to pronounce this, but I think it's EXID, right?
I would say
Yes.
EXID, yes.
Yes, it's EXID.
Okay. They announced that they will be releasing a brand new album called Blessed, and it's spelled BLESSED with all dots in between, on August 19th. This will be the latest album release since Trouble back in May of last year, and will be their 2nd Japanese album overall. It will feature 10 tracks, and it will include both the Japanese version of their hit track I Love You, Lie, and Cream. And one of these tracks will be produced by DJ Taku of Enflow Flame. So The album will release with 2 editions, and you can check out all that information on our site, including a music video short preview for their song Bad Girl for You on our site as well.
I'm actually really excited about this because a lot of the songs on their new album are Japanese versions from their first Korean album, Street, which is very out of print, and I'd love a copy, so if anyone wants to sell me one. But I really enjoyed Street, and I'm very excited to hear the Japanese versions of these tracks, and I want to see if they change up the composition at all and see how it goes. So I'm excited. I really like Exit.
And then continuing on to the lovely vocalist Hanya announced that he'll be releasing a brand new album called Juni Hatsu on July 29th, so this past week. This will be the latest album release done by him since his best of album, The Best album, back in November of 2018, and will be his 9th album overall. It will release with 12 tracks total and dropped with 2 editions. You can check out all that information, including the music video for his song Intro, on our site. And then continuing on to the lovely Music Corner alum Syrup, he released the music video for his track Helpless Romantic on his YouTube channel. Originally released back in May across all digital music streaming platforms, the track was sound produced by Starro and his usual collaborator Shin Sakura. It's interesting because this was during the time that they were doing this was the whole stay-at-home thing because of the ongoing crisis. So the entire music video is done animated, so you can check out that interesting style that they did for this track on our site, including the digital streaming platform links on our site as well. And then continuing on to the popular voice actress turned vocalist Miku Ito announced that she will be releasing a brand new album in December. This will be the latest album release done by the artist since Pop Skip back in July of last year, and will be her 3rd solo album overall. If you guys don't know who she is very, very popular in the Seiyu world. She is part of Pixis, of this Seiyu duo group, and she's also part of the whole Bang Dream thing. She is the lead singer for Hello Happy World, so if you guys are interested in that. It'll include hit tracks such as Plunder, Hello Pink, and recently released track Koku no Hikari Lonely Dark. You can check out all the information about this on our site, including the music video for Koku no Hikari Lonely Dark on our site as well. And then continuing on to the 4-member rock band A Flood of Circle announced that they will be releasing a brand new album 2020 on October 21st. This will be the latest album release done by the band since Center of the Earth back in March of last year, and will be their 10th album overall. It'll include various tracks such as 2020 Blues, Kinshi no Uta ga Kokeru, and Hinoshima, and will drop with 12 tracks total. You can check out all the information about that on our site, and if you guys don't know who A Flood of Circle is, you can check out their song Lucky Lucky on our site as well. And then lastly, for our regular piece of news here, it is the lovely King and Prince announced that they will be releasing a brand new track called Key of Heart, and it will be used as the theme song for the upcoming sports comedy film Yawamushi Pedal, releasing on October 14th. If you guys don't know that, it's based off a very popular biking anime. It was really popular when we were in Japan. So I'm quite razzled to see why they're doing a film now. But it is what it is. You can check out all the information about that, including the trailer for Yawamushi Pedal on our site. It has a small preview of the song. But yeah, with that, let's continue on to the music corner here. And this week I have the reins, and I introduced you guys to the lovely world of Lucky Tapes. They are a 3-member fusion rock band that formed back in 2014, and actually is the sequel of their 5-member band Slow Beach. And what they're very interested of taking is the ongoing trend of bridging the gap between jazz, rock, and R&B, albeit in their own unique twists. And one of the things that differentiates them from the pack is their approach towards composition by creating a happy-go-lucky yet melancholy works of art so that all the listeners can enjoy. All these tracks are very interesting because they have these lovely jazz aesthetic to each track, and they have a lot of things that is associated with jazz, so like a lot of trumpets and sax and stuff like that. It infuses that with the rock melody that they always usually try and do, and it's very interesting how it comes out. A lot of it, if an artist doesn't know what they're doing, it ends up being noise, and I don't know, it just, for me anyway, it works out perfectly, and it fuses very, very right. And some of these examples for this beautiful harmonic is Lonely Lonely, 22, and Lady Blue. Brings that composition to the forefront and has the listeners be engulfed by the first step of their introduction to Japanese fusion, which is very good. Not only do they do these kind of happy-go-lucky compositions, they can take it down a pace and have a more to mid to low tempo track. And some of those forefront examples are Moon and Gun and Ballad are a couple of them. And it shows that, they're no one-trick pony. And it's very interesting to kind of see that in live. One of my first introductions to this group was years ago with Moon. And just, when I first started listening to them, I was like, this is something I haven't listened to before. It's something that you guys gotta listen to kind of understand what I'm talking about. Moon it's absolutely a great introduction to them, and 22 is also really good. It kind of shows what they're more modernly known for, but Lonely Lonely is probably their best track in my opinion. But I want to hear what you guys got to say about them. I'm very interested because whenever I hear the word fusion, and I bring it up with them, it's kind of hit or miss with you particularly, Gray, but I want to kind of hear your take on them.
Ken, I thought we were friends, I thought friends looked out for each other, but yeah, you've been sitting on this band and, didn't clue me in on it. So I want to thank for that. But, no, this was fantastic. This was like hearing them at first, it was like, you've heard the concept love at first sight. This is love at first hearing, I guess is a good way to put it. I put on their song Mood, and I felt the mood, if you catch my drift. It just, like, it hit me in the right way. Like, because fusion is, I think it's hard. I think fusion can be hard to do because you have to take the elements of the genres you're blending that works and fuse them together. And if you do it wrong, it comes out weird and it doesn't sound good. But I think they really do a really good blend and mix of that R&B style, that jazz style. It really works well together, especially that light trumpet that they throw in there. And it's not every song, but they do have a couple songs where they throw in the saxophone, which also is really, really nice. And being a ex-sax player, as I've stated 900 times, I have a soft spot for jazz in my soul. So I absolutely love jazz, and jazz fusion tends to be the easiest fusion pill to swallow. It's very rare that we've done a jazz fusion I didn't like. So yeah, no, these guys are awesome. Their song Mood, like I said, is really good, just blends it well together. 22 is a blast to listen to. That's a lot of fun. The vocal work on it's pretty solid too. And the lead singer, his piano work is fantastic. Like, really nice piano work. So the guy's super talented. Yeah, this is a great band.
So I agree. I love the jazz style, and I think as a whole, how they have everything come together with their instruments is beautiful. I love the piano work. It is fantastic, and I think their vocals are actually really good. For this, Lucky Tapes relaxed me a lot this week as my stress level was through the roof. So to me, this band and their style of music was a good breath of fresh air, something nice, something to relaxing, calming. And Punch Drunk Love was hands down like my favorite song by them. Just something about it grabbed me, and it pulled my attention to the point I'm like, I want to see what song this is. This is freaking amazing. They really were a breath of fresh air, and I think everyone needs this type of style in their life. And I mean, you're not always in the mood for it. However, I didn't think I was in the mood. I started off with their newest EP, Mars, or their newest single, I mean. And, I'm like, I'm not sure what to think of this yet. And then I dived into 22, their EP, and I really liked it. I'm like, this is actually pretty solid. I'm enjoying this a lot. And then I dived into Dressing. And it's, 22 got my attention, but it was Punch Drunk Love that just hit me. And then Lonely Lonely featuring Chara, because I love Chara, and I thought they just blended so well with her.
Oh yeah, I think Lonely Lonely was just simply amazing. Like, I go back to them every so often because they're associated to a lot of the bands that I listen to. So it's interesting, these kind of new age generations of what fusion bands and groups and artists like to do. So he's really associated to She Is Summer, Tendre, Syrup, a lot of those groupings that I've been doing. It's interesting to kind of hear that and see how they approach that, and it's just phenomenal what I've been able to find. Like with Lonely Lonely, it's just amazing.
Oh, it is. And I'm glad you introduced them because they were just a very unique band. And not just for that, like, how many jazz bands do you hear with also great vocal work? And I think the reason I like their vocals is it's smooth. Like, they have a very smooth way of transitioning, which blends so well with the instruments they use. And for me, that's like a big thing, is when you're able to blend that, and you want your jazz to be smooth. And that's really what they encompass in it.
Yeah, so like the vocalist, his name is Kai Takahashi, by the way. He's amazing, just simply amazing of what I've been hearing. It's you don't hear such a strong vocalist like this with this kind of genre before. It's interesting to kind of see how they just picked up, because like I said, I wanted to do them for a while, since I found them when we were around Tendre's, when we were doing Tender and Tendre stuff, but because they just got picked up by Universal around that time, I couldn't do them because that was the whole rule with Indie Corner. But since Music Corner, it's been a while since I kind of went back to them, and I'm happy I did, because they've been a good trip to kind of go out with, and I've been looking forward to kind of introduce them to the both of you, and I'm very happy that you guys ended up really liking them.
Yeah, and I remember we had a discussion on them when we were doing Indie Corner, and you wanted to do them, and I think I checked out a few songs originally, but it's been a while, so revisiting them was a great refresher of their music, their sound, their style, and also something new, something refreshing compared to what I've been listening to this week. And it's just a nice break, and I feel like it just kind of floats you away from life, and I like it.
Yeah. So like I said, I first encountered them when I did Moon, and Moon was their latest release track, and then I think I introduced them to you around 22, around that time. So
I think it was.
Yeah, and Moon was absolutely fantastic. This was during their transition from their 5-member band Slow Beach to Lucky Tapes, and Moon was just simply amazing. The original guitarist that they had during that time, he was just freaking tastic, and just made me fall in love with the band. And unfortunately, he did split off like a year or two later before they got picked up by Universal. But Lucky Tapes haven't skipped a beat regardless, because they've been going very, very strong. And Lonely Lonely and Mood and their latest song Actor and their upcoming song Blue, featuring Koji Koji. Koji Koji is another one of those vocalists that we have to keep our eye on. It's amazing. I can't sing enough praises for this band. But yeah, I'm happy that you guys liked it, and go check them out. We have all the information on our site.
Thank you, Ken, for picking them. It was a lot of fun checking them out.
Thank you so much for picking them. It's always nice to discover another new nice band.
Yips. But yeah, with that, let's continue on to the Oricon here. And speaking of fresh air, thank God this week was amazing. like, let's see here. Only 1, 2, 3 songs were repeat songs.
Yeah.
Everything else.
It's
Everything else was new, or we haven't revisited in a long time. So it's really great to kind of hear this.
Yeah. It pretty much how we use, because for the longest while, like, every week we would do MC, or not MC, we would do the Oricon. There would only be like 2 or 3 singles, and then like we hit that period where it's like we had like 7 or 8 repeaters, and like we were just doing like 3 new songs a week. So it's really nice to see this comeback and like this freshness to the list. This is very, very exciting.
Oh, I completely agree. I'm glad to see some new stuff on here, so we all get to check it out together.
Yes. But with that, let's start off to number 10, and it is "Fight for Your Heart" by. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate.
with Haruma Miura.
Miura.
Miura. It's hard to bring it up, honestly.
Yeah, it is. I know we talked about it last week, and we talked that he would make the Oricon, which he obviously did. It's just sad seeing it because before everything happened, I was working on something for a new single he was releasing, and I had to listen to Fight for Your Heart because, that was what he had, and I wanted to check him out, and I hadn't listened to his actual music, even though I was a fan of him being an actor. And I loved Fight for Your Heart. I thought it was a nice poppy jazz song, and it wasn't what I was expecting from him. It was, it was really nice, and I loved it. And seeing it on here under these circumstances makes me really sad because I don't think this song would be on here if it weren't for what happened, since this came out last year. And it, breaks my heart for that reason. I'm glad he's on here so we could all listen to it and enjoy it because I love it. And he was so talented. And this shows that he had a very promising career as a singer, not just an actor. And it just breaks my heart that we have to talk about him this way and bring it up this way.
Yeah. So This song in particular was very interesting because it sounds like nothing that I've really heard. The image that I have of him didn't fit the image of the person that was singing the song, if that makes any sense.
Yes, that I had the same feeling. When I first heard this, I didn't expect what I was expecting because it wasn't what I was imagining him singing. And yeah, I think that's one of the reasons I loved it. It was different.
I had figured that I would think of him as more of a ballad singer, but no, he's kind of up and at it with "Fight for Your Heart," and it's a nice little tap beat that you can kind of listen to, and it like broke my image of what he was, and I would have loved to have seen this like live or hear him perform this.
I would too.
Yeah, the whole situation is really sad. I'm not really into the J cinema scene. I was not familiar with him through his acting, and I had never heard "Fight for Your Heart." So, unfortunately, it's like I'm getting to know him after the tragedy, which really really blows because this guy is uber talented. I didn't have any pre ideas of what to expect going into this, so it was a very interesting experience by and large. I really liked "Fight for Your Heart." Dude was really gifted vocally speaking. I felt like he had a gorgeous voice and he was able to carry the tone and the tenor of the song very well, and it really flowed really well together. And this, yeah, Ken's right, this is a upbeat song. I mean, both of them kind of are in a way. But this song was really, really good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's just a shame. This was how I got introduced to it, is the situation that it is. But he left behind a legacy, and at least we get to experience that.
Yeah, that's for darn sure. Regardless, Fight for Your Heart sold this week at lovely 21,132 points. And continuing on up, it is Night Diver, once again by by Haruma Miura. And it's interesting to hear this song, because for me, this is the first time being really introduced to his singing voice again. And it seems like he was trying to go for a certain theme for his vocal releases, and he's hitting that. And it seemed like he was hitting that. And I would had loved to hear if he was able to do an album. I would have loved to hear what he was going to do with that, because all the two songs that we were just introduced, Fight for Your Heart and now Night Diver, are really, really solid.
I know, and that's the same for me. And I love Night Diver, and this was one I was really looking forward to. So when the video dropped, I was extremely sad. And also, because just with the situation, this was one before everything happened. I had this on my radar because I love Fight for Your Heart. And I was curious how Night Diver would be. And he didn't disappoint with it. The song is, same vocal work, completely different composition, and a very unique one that's memorable. And I loved it so much. And it makes me so sad how much I loved it, because we're never going to see anything else. And it breaks my heart that we're not going to see him be able to do any more music, because I would have loved it. He was so talented, music, not just as an actor, but musically wise too. He had great vocals, and he was releasing some very interesting songs that made for a memorable career. So I'm happy it's on here and we could talk about it, but I'm also heartbroken at the same time.
Yeah, Night Diver, it's really different from Fight for Your Heart, but it's still a very interesting track, and it really shows his range. The range between like two songs total, I think is pretty shocking in a way, because you have two songs that he's released, and they're both radically different, but they're pretty solid, and they really break the mold. They're pop songs, but they're not traditional pop songs. These aren't going to blend into the background or, fade into obscurity. They stand out pretty well. And, it's really obvious with, especially Night Diver, he was really just getting started with his music career. And he had, a ton of places to go. And unfortunately, we're never going to be able to see where he can reach. But Night Diver is a fantastic song. It is different. It's a lot different from Fight for Your Heart, but both songs are, again, fantastic and amazing, and they're different. They have a different sound. They're pretty unique. They have a good Night Diver had a really good dance hook to it too. So definitely worth checking out, and worth hearing his last song. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, because it would have been very interesting, because I would have loved to have seen how the comparisons would have been with Misaki Suda, because obviously they are both very high talented actors who started going into the music career, and I would have loved to have seen some sort of, I would say, rivalry or like companionship between those two.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been, because they were both high class actors. Miura does do the films a lot more than he does dramas now, but ironically, but it would have been something to have seen, but unfortunately, because of everything that happened, this will not be the last time we'll see the song, obviously, because this was only for digital and streaming links. It will only go up from here. I know that for a fact. If you guys are able to, go and get this single. These two singles are probably going to be, honestly, his legacy for a while internationally. It'll be very difficult to probably get his dramas, get his movies too. His movies are really, really good work too. But
these singles are already hard to get. CD Japan's been out of print since everything happened.
Yeah, I think Amazon Japan is probably not shipping internationally for these because of just how the high cases of it. So regardless, Haruma Miura's Night Driver sold a lovely 21,657 points. And going on up to number 8, once again, is Hadaka no Kokoro by Aimyo. So nothing much we can say here. It's been on here for quite a while and it's good. It looks like Aimyo is getting her staying power just a little bit longer. But regardless, this week it sold a lovely 23,424 points. And continuing on up to number 7, it is In the Summer by the lovely group Arashi. So, what do we think about this release? I'll be a little hesitant on saying all my words, but go right ahead, you guys.
So it was interesting. I liked it. But I like summer songs and I love Arashi. It wasn't my favorite by them, but it was very enjoyable. I feel like this is one I do need to give way more listens before I have a solid opinion on it. The one thing I did notice, it sounded a little out of the normal for them. It sounded very Americanized composition wise and vocal wise. And I can't put my finger on exactly how. I'm trying to think of how to explain why I think that. But compared to like Turning Up, which was super poppy, this one did not have that super poppy feel to it like that one did, like the very J-poppy feel. But this gave off a more like Western feel. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I actually think it's good. You know, they can switch up their genre very easily. And they're also going, you know, they've been, I feel like, I wouldn't say expanding, but they've been definitely hitting on an international audience lately, especially with Olympics coming up. So I see that as a good thing in a single. And I mean, all in all, I thought it was pretty solid and I did hit the plus sign.
Oh yeah, I've been listening to the song on repeat for a while. It popped up on my YouTube recommendations the day after they dropped it on YouTube. So I've been listening to the song on repeat for a week and a half now. And I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's a little different. It's really interesting because it's not a high energy number or anything like that. It's very more of a laid back tune, I guess is a good way to put it. It strikes me as a reminiscent dream almost, and someone's trying to reflect upon that, and it's really, really well done. I think the guys just knock it out of the park. The melody is simple, but it works and it gets the job done. And it's very modernized. It's very much a modern song, which, you know, most groups modernize. It's just how it is. But I think they do a good blend of the traditional while still modernizing the song. And like I said, I really love this song. It's not my favorite song that they do, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay, so for me, it's an okay track. I'm not gonna harp on it too hard. It's the next step for them to be more international, and I completely understand that. For me, it doesn't work. But this is just me personally. For someone who hasn't really liked modern Arashi in a while, I haven't really liked. Turning Up was okay, and it was very close to what the next step of what Johnny's needs to be, and that's what it is. But for me, I haven't heard a really standout song, in my opinion, since Guts. And I know a lot of the Johnny's fans are gonna kill me for saying that, because they have great songs that released in between those albums, and Turning Up is one of them. But me personally, I haven't really enjoyed a song by them besides Turn Up since Guts, and that's years ago now. But like I said, it's modernized because it needs to be, because of probably this was going to release during the Olympic time. And this was probably one of the songs that they already had in the backlot, already made and already ready to go around that time. So it's fine. I completely understand that, and I know that I always harp on the idol industry they need to evolve and need to not be the same old thing, and it's just how they take the next level, it'll be a little. I'll be a little defensive on my boys here. Let's just say that much. If you kind of understand what I'm saying here, yeah.
Oh, I completely understand. I mean, you've been a fan for them for so long, and I completely get it. And I like hearing your take on it too. As I'm a little bit of a newer fan to them, so I like seeing the different perspectives, especially going back and listening to their older stuff. I completely get what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm still getting a feel for them, and like I said, I'm with Luna. I'm very much a recent fan. Within the past 6 to 7 months, I've become a fan of Arashi, and so and it's weird. It's always weird when like you have a history and a legacy with a group, and then they kind of change, and it sometimes like you can feel like they're not the group that you fell in love with anymore, and it can be very difficult to reconcile that. But I still think they do a good job. And
yeah, and like I said, this song is great. It's not. It's very different of how I feel with AKB.
Yeah.
Because in my point of view, AKB hasn't grown from that style from way back when. Well, they have, but for me, change isn't really good from my end. Let's just say that much. But like I said, this is a great song, and if you like the song, that I'm not gonna hate people that like the song. I understand its appeal. For me, it isn't working. Regardless, in the summer, sold a lovely 23,663 points. And continuing on up to number 6, it is Koisu by Eito, and nothing we can really talk about it. Eito has significantly made his presence known since the whole stay-at-home movement, and this is one of the good things for him. But regardless, this week it sold a lovely 26,411 points. And going on up to number 5, it is Anima by Riona. So this is the second time we've come across her in the last couple months, because she was on our anime roundup. So what did you guys think of Anima?
So I liked it, but I've also been into some of the anime music again as of the last couple weeks. I mean, I think it's a solid one. You can tell Anima is definitely a theme, and it's for Sword Art Online, the newest season. I think it's like Elicization or the Underworld. And it gives me a very Lisa vibe, and I think I felt this last time as well. And I can see, she's a very similar voice. I think Lisa has a little bit harder edge to her, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was actually a fantastic song, and it made me want to watch the new season of SAO just to hear the song.
Yeah, this song was absolutely fantastic. It wasn't my favorite song of the week. I think Arashi kind of landed that, but still, I felt like this was a pretty solid song. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It definitely hits that anime feel if you're into that. I added this. I hit the plus sign, so I'm looking forward to listening to it a few more times this week. But it was definitely a nice surprise. And Rihanna is, yeah, I think like the bulk of her stuff is associated with Sword Art Online. But, she's pretty talented, and, there's a reason they keep going back to her, and it's nice to see her on here and able to talk about Anima.
Yeah, I was going to say, because so this is going to be for the last season of Sword Art. Thank God, but that's a whole different dog there. And it sounds like it was made for this anime, and I completely understand if you guys like it. This is the type of song this vocalist does, and it's all right. I'm not a fan of Sword Art. I read most of the books. I'm a light novel reader. I'm not much of an anime watcher anymore, but it's interesting to kind of see the effect of this is happening. But Regardless, Anima sold a lovely 30,354 points. And going on to a hard number 4 here, has been on here at least for like almost the past month now. It is Yoru ni Kakeru by Yaosobi. Nothing more we can say. She's amazing, and I can't wait to see more work by her. And this week it sold a lovely 32,213 points. And going on up, it is Fantastic Departure by the lovely Aquars group from the Love Live Sunshine anime. So, our resident Love Live person is here. So, what did you think about that, Luna?
I actually really liked it, and this is coming from someone who likes Saint Snow songs a little bit better than Aquars. And I thought it was solid. It was a very, very solid single. It made me want to rewatch Love Live again, the whole franchise, despite me thinking the original Love Live is better than Sunshine. But I think it's solid. I mean, great vocal work by all the girls. It was very cute. It was memorable. This is probably up there for some of their best songs. I mean, I think it's very solid, and I'm wondering, are we going to get another season or another movie? I'd be okay with that, because Over the Rainbow was fantastic.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this song. I liked the first song a little bit more than the second, but I felt like both songs were pretty solid. And especially if you're a fan of the genre and of, like, you know, the girls' idols group, I think like these two songs really work and they do the trick. They're fun, upbeat, have a good melody to them. So definitely, if it's your thing, you'll like it. And yeah, I thought it was pretty solid overall.
So, like I said, it's very interesting to see our attitude towards this type of genre change over the last like year and a half, I want to say. Because it got to the point that right. we were dreading around anything that was released by Idolmaster and Love Live, for that matter. In
our defense, we saw Idolmaster almost every week, and it was with dread. Yeah. And then, when was the last time we've seen Idolmaster? It's been a hot minute.
It's been a hot minute, but it's interesting that you say that, because if everything that happened didn't happen, they probably would have been full force, because this year's the 15th anniversary for Idolmaster.
Yeah, you're probably 100% right on that. You're probably 100%
so
right.
It probably would have been full force again. And with to go back to your point there, Luna, with the whole thing of if they're going to make another anime or not, or a project, they probably would have announced it fairly soon, because the 10th anniversary for Love Live already happened. It's this year, so it would have been announced that they're gonna do another anime for Aquars or another movie for Aquars, or continue on to another anime series, moving on from Sunshine to another series. Because in the Love Live game that came out internationally this past year, they did introduce a brand new group, a brand new girls, a brand new school, and everyone keeps on thinking that this is going to be the new anime, and the game was just to help promote it. But we heard nothing. All the seiyus are part of it have been sealed about it. So who knows at this point?
Yeah, and with everything going on right now, I can't really see it. I think you're right, they would have announced something to get everyone hyped for it, especially since it's the 10th anniversary. So, and you know what, if they do make one, great. If they don't make one, hey, I still got my Love Live and I'm happy and I can watch it anytime.
See, now this will be interesting for your point of view, because, you know, you've been watching Love Live and you've been really, really liking it as well. So would you want to watch this new season or this new series of girls? And
I would, to be honest. So I loved the first one. I think that was freaking amazing. Sunshine, for me, being honest, I had trouble getting into it, and I think it was because the main character annoyed me for a while. So, and it did, but she grew on me, and I think it was because I loved the music to Sunshine. I thought, of course, and Saint Snow were fantastic. Mm-mm. So I got rid of my annoyance, but I would be okay with them bringing another team of girls, because one, it switches it up. I kind of like that they did 2 seasons for each. and they kept them short, and they didn't keep reusing them because after a while it runs out of, things to do. So it keeps it refreshing, bringing in new artists and new music, and they can also do combinations later on. Like they could get a chorus together, saying they could get all the Love Live people, everyone together, and I'd be okay with that too. But I would be hyped if they did another franchise with New Girls.
Yeah, because I was also gonna bring up with Saint Snow, because Saint Snow is obviously it's very popular for that duo group that they introduced, and the seiyus that are associated with that group are really, really talented. I follow one of them at least, and they're really good. And it'd be very interesting to see what the Love Live franchise will be later on. I would have to talk to the other anime podcasts that I listen to, because they mostly talk about Love Live. I would love to have a conversation with them about this. So, regardless, fantastic departure. So they lovely 49,261 points. And then going on up to number 2, it is Sherbet Pink by NGT48. It's been a while since I've said that name on the Oricon charts here. So, what do we think about the song? It's very interesting on my point of view for this, but I want to hear your guys' point of view first before I continue on.
So, for me, I totally forgot about them, to be honest, because it's, like you said, been a while. I thought it was pretty solid. My only issue is it's still very generic, but at the same time, like, they did a good job reminding everyone that, hey, we're still here, we're still creating music, this is who we are. And I mean, I thought it was cute, good harmonies, the music video was nice, I like their dresses. But the sad thing is like 5 minutes after I listened to it, I totally forgot what that song was. And then I had to go back and try to remember, and then I went back and re-listened to it. Oh, that's what it was. And then 2 hours later, I forgot again. So that's my problem with groups like that, is it's not as memorable enough. Yes, it's a solid track when you hear it and you think, oh my god, this is pretty good. But then if you forget about it later, how solid is it really? How memorable is it really? I still feel like it's generic and just out there to remind you, hey, we're still here. I can think of other Idol songs and other Idol groups who've actually made me go out and buy a single, and I'm not an Idol person. Or actually stood out and I remembered it even if I didn't like it. So, that's just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, no, I thought this single was really, really good. I liked it. It didn't wow me or blow my socks off or anything like that, but I felt like it did the job it needed to do, because this is the first song after the big scandal and all the trouble that the group had. And they've been gone, I think, over a year at this point. So it's been a long time since we've seen them. And I think Sherbet Pink really, it hits the notes. Like I said, it's not reinventing the wheel. I'm not certain if they want to do that with this group at this point. I think they want to get the girls out there and deliver something solid that fans can enjoy.
I was gonna say this thing wasn't going to invent the wheel. This is literally a reminder to say, yes, hey, we're here. These are the girls that we are that stayed with us. To be to be frank, there.
Yeah,
and you have to watch the music video to kind of get that sense.
Yes.
And go ahead and watch the music video, because it does a good hard couple seconds focusing on each girl that is in this group, because they kind of have to. It's been almost over 2 years since their last single, since October of 2018.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
They need this. They need this injection of saying, this is the girls that we are going to promote. Here are a little bit tidbits, just small tidbits of who they kind of want to image to proceed of them, of who they are. And after this whole tragedy that happened and the whole scandal that happened from them last year, this is their point of saying, this is going to be our girls. This is the type of music we're going to do. It wasn't turning any heads, but that's
very
besides
true.
the point.
I remember
Yeah, I
liking
mean,
one of their singles, but yes.
I think for me, I think Sekai no Hitoe is a much better song, but that's when everything was firing on all cylinders. And the Sekai wa Dokomade mo ao sora na no ni, that was originally really, really great. I had high hopes for this group because during the time that they were releasing stuff, they were doing something very different. They were doing, albeit not changing up the formula all too much, but they're doing something that I haven't heard from AKB or the 48 system in a long time. And Strawberry Pink isn't going to change that system all too much. They got a reintroduction and rejigger everything. But it's a good reintroduction song to say, hey, we're here, this is the people.
I also think if you watch the music video, I think they're trying to figure out which girls are marketable and which ones aren't. So I think they're paying attention to who sells what merchandise and who has what fans. Because I think if they have one stand out, she's going to get a little bit more promotion than some of the others. But
that's the whole reason why they were going through every single girl every couple of seconds, because they need to figure out who's going to be their Senbatsu. I
just wish they had figured out a better way to do it than the way that they did it in the video, because it's the girls interacting with the camera person, so it feels like
Well, that's the whole thing with the 48 system. It's the girls next door.
Yeah, now that's true, and they do give off that vibe. Definitely that vibe.
It's the girls next door, and it's going to be like, hey, I am with you and on a date with you. These are the things that my everyday life I would like to do with you, kind of thing. It's very interesting. Like, I dig what they tried to do here.
Yes.
But... like, for me, the song was all right, like I said. And it wasn't going to change heads, but the whole trying to focus on who's going to be marketable. There's a reason what they did is what they did.
And like I said, I thought the song was pretty enjoyable, all things considered. I felt like it did what it needed to do. I think you can call it a success in a lot of ways. And the fact that it hit number 2 shows that it was a mildly successful song. I mean, I know there's the pandemic, and there's also the fact that they went against number 1, which I think maybe took a couple of its sales. But, they still did a good job. Number 2 is nothing to scoff at, especially given the history of this group. And, hopefully we won't have to wait a year and 8 months for the next single. Hopefully they'll have a faster turnaround. But the 48
that record is going
to this year.
That record is going to go to Kiyakizaka 46. Let's just say that much.
Yeah. I don't know when we're going to hear from them again. So,
regardless, Sherbet Pink sold a lovely 81,465 points, and going on up to number 1, it is Navigator by Six Tones. And oh boy, you guys already know how I really feel about this group, and then the other group that is associated with them. I don't know how to feel about this, but let's hear what you guys got to say first.
Okay, so I kind of felt the same way about the song that I did, the NGT song. It was very generic, and I liked the Six Tones versus Snowman song way better than this. However, I will say the Rappin' Navigator I loved. It was very memorable, and that stuck with me. I just thought the chorus was a little bit lacking for me. And I'm not saying it's like a bad song. It's okay. It's just not my favorite. I feel like it would have to grow on me. But at the same time, I'm kind of standing back right now and seeing where they go and what they do. I still don't know what to make of this. I feel like this, like the NGT one, needs more listens because I totally forgot what I listened to like 2 minutes later. So then when I re-listened to it, I remembered the rap part because then I had to listen to it a third time trying to remember what the chorus was. So that's my issue with some of these. I feel like they're more by the numbers and a lot more generic. However, I will say the guys in Six Tones are pretty cute, so can't deny that. And
so
I'm sure that's where they're getting their
Johnny's
fans.
charm is working, right?
That's where that charm is like you put some cute guys in there who actually they have decent vocals. I feel like they should utilize them more, and if they did, I want to hear them do a ballad. Because right now they're doing pop and lock stuff. and I like the rapper, but I like rap, so I'm just so like caught on a fence with this because I really want to like them and want them to do a song that I freaking love. And right now they haven't hit that to me, but I will say they got some good looks and they're dancing a spot on in the video. I mean, I thought that was really good, but it still lacks something, and I'm really hoping their next single picks up to what I feel like I'm missing. Something to make it click for me and, make me like see where they're going to go from here. So I'm still super in the fence. Navigator didn't like sell me. It just, for me, I feel like I'm gonna forget it next week.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't crazy about this song. I mean, I think I liked it better than Dancing in the Rain. I wasn't a huge fan of that. I liked the Snowman song Dee Dee a lot more. But, it's a decent song. It hits the notes. I think there's a lot of potential here. I think there's a lot of unmined potential here. But they're not mining it. And I really, it's found its audience. I don't know if they're going to keep this shtick going because it seems to be selling. So industry standards, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I don't know if I'll ever be a Six Tones guy. I like Johnny's Juniors, but this is something a little different, and I'm thinking maybe they might have a single one day that I absolutely love. I hear it. I hear potential in these guys. I really do. But right now, I'm not seeing it. I'm not feeling it. The song's okay. The rap is the most memorable part of it. And other than that, I really just could leave the song as is. It just doesn't do anything for me. But, we'll see what they do next time. They'll be at top of the charts again, I'm certain.
Oh, yeah. No, this is going to be top of the charts once again. To reiterate my point, I am an OG Johnny's fan. I've been a fan of Johnny's for a while now. When they make groups that I knew with juniors, eventually this whole change of what the industry is going to was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. Six Tones and Snowman, for that matter, isn't Johnny's for me. It's not that style that I grew up with in the industry with, and that's fine. I'm more than accepting for that. And Navigator cemented that fact for me that for the industry to survive and for Johnny's Juniors and Johnny's as a company to survive, they need to try different genres in the industry. And Six Tones, and for that matter, Snowman, for that matter, also, is going to be one of those groups that isn't for me. And I'm perfectly happy. I'm perfectly happy with that. It's just Navigator cemented that fact for me. Now, they could change this on the third track. I always give groups 3 singles before I make my mind up about them. But from what I've heard as of right now, they're not for me, and it's for a different type of genre and different type of crowd that Johnny is going to take the market with, and that's fine. I'm not going to bag on anyone that likes this. So Navigator is a solid track. It's very interesting, but I'm not going to heat on it for that reason, for being different from what I consider Johnny's. Like I said earlier, when we were going against this, what I think Johnny's Juniors, the traditional Johnny sense, it is King and Prince. King and Prince fits traditional Johnny's to a freaking T, and that's fine. That's fine. If out of the whole Juniors competition, if I only like King and Prince, that's fine by me. But we'll see. I would like to hear more songs by Six Tones and Snowman. Snowman hasn't released their second single yet, but it's on the uprise, so we'll look forward to that.
I'm looking forward to it.
And I know that you guys really, really like Snowman, and the Snowman was with Dee Dee was, in my mind, the better song out of these two. If I had to pick, the lesser evils of the songs. I hate that I had to say it like that, but yeah, just what I think of what the shift of genre is for Johnny's, and that's fine. DD was a much better song, but regardless, Navigator sold a lovely 621,656 points, or I should say copies, because still Johnny's ways, and they are only physical releases. With that, let's continue on to the album side here. And nothing too out of the ordinary here. We got For Live Bish Best at number 10, Wow at number 9 from Rosalia, number 5 by Mrs. Green Apple Sandin at number 8. Make You Happy by Need You. Thank God I didn't have to listen to Need You this week, but that's neither here or there. At number 7, Traveler by Official Higedandism at number 6. Nenchu Rena by Stardust Review. That is a very interesting. I would like to go on to that a little bit later because review is always good to hear. Hangare. I always forget how we say this. Hangare.
And I keep forgetting to ask my friend, and I'm so glad 17 is still going strong. I mean, they've been really holding on.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, Hangare by 17 at number 4. Man with a Best Mission at number 3 from Man with a Mission. Map of the Soul, 7 The Journey by BTS at number 2. And Letters from Bish, their super single. I guess they consider it an album now. At number 1. So congratulations for Bish. They got on the album side twice there for this release. But yeah, with that, I want to say thank you for listening to this week's episode of Ongaku. You can find us at all the lovely social media stuff at Ongaku on Twitter and Instagram. You can find the site at ongaku.com. And don't forget to check out our newest segment on the site called Ongaku Go. So go right ahead and check that out. And you can listen to all our lovely affiliates. Karyu Hunter, he is a Twitch streamer who does Donkey Kong 64 and just Donkey Kong. I swear to God, he has like a love-hate relationship with that series right now because he just wants all the Kongs. But you can listen to that at twitch.tv/KaryuHunter, KYORYUHUNTER. You can also listen to our other affiliate, Timberta. He is a Twitch streamer in his own right and doing a lot of Zelda Twilight Princess randomizer. So basically you enter a dungeon, it could be any dungeon, and it mixes up the stories just quite of a bit. So it's a very interesting premise, and you can check it out at twitch.tv/Timbertaft, TIMBRTAFT. You can also watch your sister Luna Rose, who is doing the lovely Monster Hunter and is she going through Animal Crossing on her streams?
I need to ask her. I know she just did a stream of Monster Hunter earlier this week with some people online, so she was excited about that. But as far as Animal Crossing goes, I know she's playing it. I can't verify if she's streaming it, though.
I see. But yeah, you can check her out at twitch.tv/RainstarKitty, RAINSTARKITTY. And you can lastly check out our other affiliate, Fangirl Has No Name. She is a variety streamer and very, very loved by the Zelda community. You can check her out at twitch.tv/Fangirl Has No Name, FANGIRLHASNONAME. And you can also check out the podcast that I do with Fangirl, Lou, and Timber called Podosaurus. That is, we go off the seat of our pants of what we talk about for the gaming industry, and you can check out all the lovely things we talk about on all podcast services. You can check it out by just type in Karyu Hunter, you can find it right there. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter at OTYKen1, where I talk about Bang Dream, I Know Eyeball, and more Bang Dream. And occasionally games, I don't know. This upcoming episode of Podosaurus will probably rag on Xbox. It's just a freaking mess right now, but look forward to that. And you can find Renford at RenfordD. Where can we find you, Gray?
You can find me on Twitter at OngakuGray, where I tweet about what I'm watching, what I'm listening to, all that fun jazz. I tweeted about the late discovery as soon as I found it. So if you follow me there, If I find a cool discovery, you will definitely be the first one to see it.
And you, Luna?
You can find me as Luna Maria 87 on Twitter, my anime list, Anime Planet, and Letterboxd, where you can see what I'm watching or talking about. And you can follow me as Nerdy Collector Luna on Instagram.
But yeah, once again, I want to say thank you for listening to this week's episode of Ongaku to You. I'm your host, Ken, saying thank you very much, and have a great day. Aloha.
This is Luna signing off, saying I hope everyone has a great rest of your week. Thank you so much for listening. Ja mata ne.
And this is great. Hope everyone has a wonderful week, and we'll see you guys next time.